Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's Nontobeko again. It's a Wednesday and I am feeling tired really. I think it's because life is still not normal as we know it, and I think the mind also knows that half the world is asleep when I have to come to work. And also I'm just very tired and it's only Wednesday. I'm going to be taking off from the last video I posted, the part 1 of my diagnosis story. So yesterday I got home from work and I was like amped. I wanted to record, but then I had taken my sleeping medication, which is the reason why there was no video recorded yesterday. But anyway, we are here now, and gosh, I even made my face, like I did the whole face thing for you guys. From when I became a teenager, right, and still I didn't have a language for what was wrong with me. I still could not put it into words exactly why I was acting the way I was acting or feeling the way that I was feeling and everything that was going on inside of me. Because of that, I then started punishing myself because I couldn't explain why I was feeling so angry or worthless and not needed. I felt like I don't belong. I had identity crisis. I had so many things going on, and then I started to punish myself by not eating. To this day, my relationship with food is very complicated. It's very rare I get to enjoy food, you know, like especially the making of the food and eating. I don't really get hungry. I'm just someone that, and it's not because I had anorexia, because then that will mean I was obsessed with not being fat. I don't know what it's called, but I do know that I was punishing myself, you know, like I would not eat for days on end because I just would not know what was wrong with me. So you're not gonna eat until we figure this out. And that was also followed by staying in a dark room. Like even now, it's another habit that I kept, that when I had a bad day or things didn't go the way that I wanted to, I'll just stay in a dark house. Like the whole house will be dark, and then I'm just not gonna allow myself any light. And yeah, so I'd refuse myself food, and every time someone would pay me a compliment about anything, I just could not allow myself to accept that. When someone tells me that I'm beautiful or I'm anything nice about me, really, I couldn't take it because I did not have anything in me that felt that I was deserving, anything in me that felt that I was beautiful. I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I just felt that I needed to be punished, and everything bad that happens, that's going to happen, is exactly what I need and is exactly what I deserve. And also because remember I said that from a young age, right, I kept the feelings bottled inside of me. I did not tell anyone about what was going on with me. So I can't ask for help. I can't let people in. And because I'd push people that I love away, that too would hurt me, and then I would want to punish myself for that. There's like instances of things that I would do or not do, and because of that I'd want to punish myself by not eating. So I'm naturally skinny, guys, but then my family knows, and everyone that's close to me knows that I'm not someone that really loves eating. I don't know, it's a love-hate relationship, because I think now that I'm mindful and I'm conscious and I read and I've spoken about this, and it's more understanding why I need to eat. And even if I don't feel like it or not hungry, I understand why it's still important for me to eat. And I've dealt with the wanting to punish myself part. So it's the effort to get me to make the food is the problem now, you know, like to want to make food, okay, and to eat it. I don't know whether I become lazy or something in my mind still does not want to connect with the whole concept of eating. And because then it was because I felt I didn't deserve it. And you know, hunger pains, how your stomach will pain, and you'll have cramps, and you just want to eat. That's what I enjoyed. I don't know if that's the right word, but every time I'd slit my wrist and see the blood and everything messy, at least that distracted my mind from focusing on the depression and all the unresolved issues that I had inside of me. And that was my way of kind of escaping my reality into the physical pain. And another thing that I'm still struggling with is being very hard on myself. I can't accept that I failed to do anything. I cannot accept that I cannot do anything. And I've been doing some introspection and reflecting. When I was in grade 3, my mom made me repeat grade 3. She didn't explain why. She didn't tell me why my report says I passed and she feels that I need to repeat. And I don't think I've healed from that. And because of that trauma, I have, from that trauma, I developed a lot of things that don't necessarily serve me. Like when there's something that I need to do and it's just like average, okay, mediocre, that to me takes me back to that little girl that had passed but not good enough to go to the next grade, so I needed to repeat. And I guess I'm sharing all of these things because I'm trying to say that depression is caused by a lot of things, right? And there are a lot of things that trigger it. There are a lot of things that happen to us when we're still young that we may pass off as whatever, when in reality those things are the reason why we behave the way that we behave. The things that we do, all the habits that we have, are all because of things that we've been through, things that happened to us and we didn't really get to deal with them. And I think that's one of the childhood traumas that really have made me become so hard and difficult, and expect almost perfection from myself. Also, my dad, I was a smart kid, even if I say so myself, until grade 10, because after that I really just didn't care. I just didn't care. Dying was the only thing that I craved. It's the only thing that I thought about most of the time. It's the only thing that made sense. And I don't know how I performed in grade 10 and 11, because I just didn't care. Anyway, my dad also, if you come home with a report card that is, because I was a smart kid, an A student even, and you'd get 89% and he'll ask you where's the rest of the mark, like 92%, he'll ask you what happened to the 8%. So those things where you are never told that, oh, well done, you did well, and then maybe you can throw in your where's this other percent after you've told me that what I did is also good. I think that those things also play a part in how we become and how we relate with life and how we process things that happen in life. So yeah, I started to punish myself like you won't believe. Slit my wrist, overdose, drink poisonous things, and all I would think about all day, every day, is just to die. And I've realized and learned now that actually I didn't want to die. I just wanted this thing inside me to die, because there's nothing worse than wanting to say something but not have the words, wanting to express what you're feeling but not being able to, and having to deal with that and carry that burden all on your own, and be expected to be okay because, well, I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, and so you kind of draw the curtain in on yourself, and you you lock yourself inside, and your view of the world, the view of life, and how you see people and how you see things and how you behave changes or gets altered, and you end up not being able to live a fulfilled life. I feel like I'm rambling. It was not until I was 18, yeah, I was 18, where I was reading a magazine and there was an article about bipolar mood disorder. Until that point, I had never heard anyone talk about depression. I had never heard anyone say anything about mental illness, mental health, mental anything. I have never heard anything around that. So I was reading, I'm a reader, right? And I had read all the books that I could find in the house, and that magazine was the only thing that I hadn't read. So I read it, and it was about this girl that had bipolar mood disorder, and everything that she was doing, how she was behaving, and all of that. And that's the day where I felt normal, where I felt like it was comforting to know that I'm not alone. It was comforting to know that what I'm feeling is not just in my head, it's a real thing. Because everything that girl said about how she was feeling and everything that she was going through, and everything that she was feeling, was exactly how I was feeling as well. And I think I ran with that, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is what I have, great. She went to a psychiatrist, she did tests, and she was diagnosed and whatever. And I was like, great. So she went to do that for the both of us. So I've also got a bipolar mood disorder. So I diagnosed with bipolar from somebody else's experience. And even though at the end I was, when I actually did go to a psychiatrist myself and got tested, I'm sorry about the noise, I'm in the car and there's a road on the other side. So even though I took someone else's experience and their diagnosis and made it mine, it was true. It's exactly what I have. So I'm not encouraging anyone to go on Google and see things and self-diagnose and say and call it a day. No, you still need to go see a psychiatrist. You still need to go and get tested, and then get the right diagnosis. But in my case, I took that girl's thing, and I was not on medication. I didn't, but at least I could put a finger and say, this is what I've got, this is what happens, this is why this happens. And that was comforting, and it gave me a sense of grounding. It made me feel alive, and something to, like, I kind of knew what I was fighting. But even after reading that article, I still did not go and ask whoever for whatever, or go to tell my parents, or no, I still just kept it to myself and kept it moving.